Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio here today for our last lesson of 2022. We're going to take a look today at 3-string picking patterns, and I've done a few different examples here. If you listen to the piece that just happened, that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to work on picking chords. We'll say these are chords. I'll explain what chords they are once we get started here. But we're going to work on these picking patterns that either skip strings or are completely adjacent to each other. And the pattern is going to be the same all throughout in terms of the motion that we're doing. And so we're going to basically be following the same exact pattern, except sometimes we need to skip a string. So it's a really good exercise for you. It's really going to build your picking skills. Plus, it sounds really cool, and you might get some good ideas for songwriting here. So why don't we just dive right in, and we'll just get right to it. So there's nothing really we want to jump too far into theoretically right now. We're not going to learn specific chord types. What we're doing are going to be some patterns that utilize the open strings as much as possible. And so the first open string is the low E, okay, so open E string. And the next note I'm playing is the 9th fret on the D string. So this is the 5th interval of the E, okay, so basically we have the root, the 5th, and then we're going to play 11 on string number 3, okay, so that's an F sharp. So we have E, B, F sharp. And the F sharp is a 9th. So what we can call this is an E sus2. It's sort of a weird voicing. You might see it like this. But we're going to pick string 6, 4, 3, 4. Now, if you follow my pattern, what I'm doing here is going down, down, up, up. Try to see what I'm doing there. Alternating it, okay, two options here. So we can alternate it, straight alternate, or down, down, up, up. All right, so when I'm playing through, I think mostly I do down, down, up, up. Just to get that rhythm flowing. It's not the most efficient pattern, but it's a good one to work on. Okay, so for this kind of picking pattern where it's three strings, and we're basically playing 4 notes total, down, down, up, up is a really good pattern. Or if you're more comfortable with alternate picking, some people are, down, up, down, up. So whatever works for you, okay? So we're skipping the A string, or string number 5. So that's our first chord, okay? So E sus2. Now the second chord, we're going to put our middle finger on the 10th fret of the A string, which is a G note. Now we have G, B, and F sharp, and this is essentially a G major 7 chord without the 5th interval. So we'll call that a G major 7. So here we're going to pick string 5, 4, 3, 4. All right, so the E sus2 is going to be played twice. G major 7 twice. Back again. Okay, so 3 times total. And so, again, if I slow it down, miss a note there, but the funny thing I notice here is when I'm playing slow, I have a tendency to alternate. My hand wants to do that, okay, so I'm trying to force myself not to do it. When I play fast, I'm going down, down, up, up. It's one of those funny things that I'm not sure why that happens, but when I slow it down, tendency to go down, up, down, up. I think it's to keep that hand motion flowing, right? So you might find yourself doing it in 2 different ways as well. I would say just right now, pick one of those, try to run with it. If you have another pattern that somehow works better, go for it. But the one pattern that might feel good at first, it won't be that efficient, is down, 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 down. Because we're jumping back up. But if you have to do that for now, go for it. Whatever's going to help you play through this, okay? So we want to get really, really comfortable. Okay, so get comfortable with that pattern before we move on. So we do that 3 times in a row, and that's going to really work on the string skipping aspect as well as picking adjacent strings. And then also the pattern here is going to help in a ton of songs that require arpeggiation or picking patterns just like this. So after we do that 3 times, we're going to go to the next chord, which is the 10th fret on the low E string. We're going to keep that ring finger on the 11th fret of the G string. Okay, so we're going to have D. We're going to pick the open D string, and then F sharp. So this is basically the root and the 3rd interval of a D major chord. Then we're going to lower down the index finger, string number 6. Okay, we're going to play on the C sharp. So we're playing C sharp, D, Then we're going to play an F sharp. So if you wanted to sort of box it into a chord, you could call this a D major 7 over C sharp. So that could be a way to look at it. That's probably what I would refer to it. So similar to the G major 7, we're just reversing the order. We're doing an inversion, basically. Sounds really weird, but it goes somewhere, right? It sort of leads your ear as you go right back. So we're going to play this pattern at the end. And then we go right back into it. So we repeat the whole thing. So from the start. And then you repeat, okay? So play it twice in a row. Now for the next part, I try to keep that open D string as a drone tone as we go through it, and just play around with some fun chord shapes. And what I came up with after this, I came down 2 frets to the B note. So I'm playing B, D, and this note here is an E, B, D, E. So if you look at those 3 notes, you might wonder what kind of chord that is. It's really awkward, but you can say it's a B minor. And this right here is going to be our 11. So I'll call it a B minor 11, even though there's a few names you could give it, right? You could call this an E minor 7 over B. I don't think it functions as that. It sounds a little different. So I'm going to play string 6, 4, 3, 4. Okay, so B minor at 11. We're just missing the 5th interval there. Then we're going to go down to the 3rd fret and index finger there, and keep the same finger on the G string. Now, when I was playing that in the recording before, I know I was using my index and pinky. So either your index and ring or index and pinky, whatever feels more comfortable. This one just tends to be more comfortable to keep my hand compressed. Then we're going to the 3rd fret and the 4th fret. So 3rd fret on the low E and the 4th fret on the G string. So this is a G note, D, and B. So G, D, and B, G, B, D. Those 3 notes make a G major chord, okay? So we have this, B minor at 11, twice, G, then we go all the way to fret number 11 again, so same one we did before, so it's hard to see my fingers there, like the D major. Then we're going to go to fret number 5, we're going to play the A note, open D, and then a C sharp. So we can call this an A with a D on top, we call it A at 11 if we want. Okay, so B minor at 11, G, D, A at 11. Okay, so that open string just makes it a little more interesting. It's a little more interesting than just playing standard chords. We had like a that's the full bar chord, B minor, G, D, A. Not as interesting, right? So again, B minor at 11, G, D, A at 11. Okay, again, here we go. So 3 times. 4th time. We're going to sit on the D chord twice. Sorry, it's hard to see my fingers there, yeah. Usually my fingers would just lay across like that, so it's sort of hard to see. I'm trying to keep my hands as relaxed as possible, but just in an effort to show you, I'll bend my fingers down. So the 4th time through, we're doing B minor at 11, G, and then D twice. Okay, then it goes right back to the beginning and all over again. So really here we're looking at building your picking pattern. So trying to get comfortable picking multiple strings, keeping that rolling, so not stopping. And so be able to play through that whole piece without getting tired can take quite a bit of time. But it's a really good exercise to work on, a really good skill to have, because there's so many instances where picking individual notes and chords is very important. And a lot of people get stuck when we're playing rhythm guitar and only strumming the chords, but picking is just as important. I think it's just as important as the strumming aspect. So both of those 2 skills come in as your responsibility as a rhythm guitarist. So again, from the start, I'll play the whole thing and let you go practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. So there you have it, some 3-string picking patterns for you. We're really just working on 2 main patterns, so string 6, 4, 3, 4, or string 5, 4, 3, 4. So enough to keep you busy. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. If you like this video, subscribe, because more videos like this coming your way in 2023. I hope everyone has a great holiday season, and I'll see you soon.